Hi, welcome to 5G Leadership Skills on Demand. This is a one-of-a-kind webinar training. The 5G Leadership Skills certification course is designed to facilitate learning for today's learners who desire to thrive in a workforce made up of an unprecedented 5 generations. The interpersonal skills addressed in the course are those that have been deemed most important by business leaders across the country. The 5G Leadership Skills training is organized into 3 pillars. Pillar 1 has 6 skills competencies. Pillar 2 has 7 skills competencies. Pillar 3 has 7 skills competencies, and each skills competency includes blended learning in a flipped classroom format. The course is designed around interactive and engaging facilitated discussions, small and large group exercises, and online learning modules by competency. These modules are most effective when taken sequentially, but are also valuable on a mix and match basis as well. Synchronous and asynchronous participation. Synchronous means when everyone meets at the same time. This will be your webinar. Asynchronous means when everyone participates at different times by means of discussion posts and/or module completion in the web-based material. It is expected that you will complete the assigned web-based modules prior to class so you are able to fully participate in the webinar class discussion. Consider your time commitment to our class discussion to be critical to your own success as a learner, as well as the success of the course. To be fully equipped for synchronous meeting times, webinars, you will need to complete the online modules first. 5G stands for 5 generations working side by side. The name was intentionally chosen to represent skills needed to succeed in today's 5-generation workplace. You will likely be working with people from 5 different generations because people are choosing to work longer for various reasons. Each generation can have very different worldviews, and their unique worldviews shape what's important to them and how they interact with the world and people around them. It would be good for you to understand what those generations look like. We chose to have avatars represent the 5 different generations and act as your guides in each of these modules. We hope you enjoy meeting them.
Hi, I'm Al. Welcome to 5G Leadership Skills. As you saw earlier, you will likely be working with people from 5 different generations because people are choosing to work longer for various reasons. Each generation can have very different worldviews, and their unique worldviews shape what's important to them and how they interact with the world and people around them. It would be good for you to understand what these generations look like. I told you that I would introduce you to my friends. Now I'd like you to meet Bob, Samia, Ali, Andrea, and Matteo. Each of them is from one of the 5 different generations that you can find in the workforce today. Note how each of them grew up with different world events, technologies, and experiences that shape the way they view the world. This is something to pay attention to, as it will be a critical part of understanding people with whom you interact.
Good day, I'm Bob. I'm 83 years young, which makes me a member of the traditionalist or silent generation. I flew in the Air Force and then worked for NASA. My generation were the veterans. My generation came of age during the 1940s. We survived the poverty of the Great Depression and won the Second World War. We transformed our country with economic and technological advancements that allowed Americans to go to the moon and build some of the greatest companies ever, and that's part of our legacy. We depended on our radios for information when we were younger, but have evolved with the times, and many of us have embraced newer technology, though maybe not as fast as the kids have. We love personal conversations, and email has helped us stay in touch with others. I still do some consulting work for NASA, and I like to volunteer with younger people. They think I'm a little old-fashioned, but that doesn't bother me at all. I still keep up with them just fine.
Hi, I'm Samia. I am 55 years old, which makes me a baby boomer. Our huge generation was the result of all the folks returning home from World War II. Unlike our parents' generation, that pulled together and were united by challenging events, my generation was pulled apart by clashing beliefs about the Vietnam War, civil and women's rights, sexual freedom, and drugs. We depended on TV for our news, but mind you, it went off the air at midnight and didn't come on again until the next day, and it only had 3 channels to choose from. As young adults, we were introduced to things like personal computer and the cell phone. While 10,000 members of my generation retire every day, a quarter of us will never retire. We like our work and staying involved. I own the Milky Way Smoothie Cafe, and I am the extrovert in our family, so I am in the right business. You will meet my younger brother, Ali, who is a little more introverted, but he is super talented, and I think you will like him.
I'm Ali, and I'm 44 years old, which makes me a member of Generation X. Unlike my sister, I grew up with the PC and the internet was coming into being during my younger years, which was a good thing, as many of my generation were the latchkey kids of 2 working parent families. My generation graduated into a recession and has been dubbed as suffering from the Prince Charles syndrome. We're just waiting around for someone to retire so that we can change the world. That being said, in reality, we tend to be entrepreneurial and industrious. I am an artist by trade and spend most of my time alone, painting, which is just how I like it. You met my sister, Samia. She's the people person in our family, and everybody who meets her loves her.
Hey, I'm Andrea. I'm 25, and I am a part of the famous Millennial Generation. We are mostly the kids of the boomers, and we grew up with participation trophies, playdates, and precious baby on board signs on our parents' cars. Our education was focused on our self-esteem, and we cannot remember a time without computers and cell phones. We are now the largest generation in the workforce, the greatest percentage of homebuyers, and are disrupting our world with innovations like Yelp, Glassdoor, Uber, and Airbnb. We are known as the adapters. I run a competitive soccer league and work with kids and their parents every day, so I am pretty good at adapting my style to my audience.
Last but not least, my name's Mateo. What's up? I am part of the newest generation to be entering the workforce, although the 6th generation is hot on our heels. We're called Gen Z, or Gen 2020, and we can't remember a time without computers. We have been handed mobile computers to amuse us since we were infants. We depend on them to keep up with our friends and family, obtain the latest news, and stay connected. We don't like being alone, and many of us are anxious and/or depressed as we have grown up with mass shootings, the threat of global terrorism, and school lockdowns as our norms. We have grown up in a global society and are the first generation in America where Caucasians are no longer the majority. We are diverse and proud of it. We are used to having what we want immediately, and everything has been personalized for us from our playlists to news feeds to the products we buy, and we like it like that. I am part of the IT team at the local community college, and I get to see firsthand how most of the 5 generations interact with each other. Sometimes it can be very entertaining.